Welcome back to Ship Happens. Today we are going to get this floor finished. So what we need to do first is make all our templates for the floor. So when we've done the other side we templated, so I'm going to go and dig out the templates and see whether the ones we made for that side will fit this side. Pretty good. Couple of little, yeah, couple of little alterations maybe. Don't think we need so much of a chunk cut out there, but that'll do. Right.
Oh, that's that. So this boat is generally very unsymmetrical. Nothing usually fits, but weirdly this piece of floor is the same.
Unfortunately, we didn't keep the templates for down this side, so
I think we used this template from the other side to make this one, but never mind. But I've actually brought over a load of more of this board, so...
Right, get some more board down and let's make a fresh template. Template?
Template. Ahead.
This box kills me every time. Yeah. Woo!
Alright. Yeah, okay. So, you know when you like lying awake at night, you know the job that you're going to go into and stuff like that, and you're thinking about this area here. It's slightly different on this side because we've got like these pieces of wood that go down. So I'm tempted to leave a gap here, Jim, because the other side is a nightmare to get it out because it hooks in here. So if we leave a gap there, then we can put a fixed piece.
But if we leave a gap there, it'll also help running like bilge pump wires, plumbing and stuff like that. Yeah. So later on in the build, when when we're making a nice interior, we can put like a box in over that. Yeah. So I'm happy with that.
And so actually, with the heat being here, it'll actually draw air up through here and aid ventilation. Yeah. So I think for now then we'll run it along this peak here.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. Oh, the good times just begun. Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright. Oh, you and I, we got it. Oh, we don't need no more. Oh, even in the hard times, you and I can weather any storm. Before sleep, hear the crickets, see the moon. Side by side and through. No limit to what we can do. Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright.
I've been asked to tell you about my template. Here's my template. It's not going to last very long, my template, because once we've actually used it as a template, it's probably going to get scraps. So you always put a lot of time and effort into your template, and then all of a sudden it's just gone. It's nothingness. It'll get used for something else though.
So
yeah, it all kind of fits okay. Fits about as good as the other side did. We sort of, there's no point getting too precise. You need to allow for like the paint and the epoxy edges and stuff like that. I was just about to bring the radiator Because obviously we're working with 4-foot boards, so we don't quite know where 4-foot is going to get us. I don't remember on the other side, so 4-foot's going to get us to here. So the very corner piece there is not going to be involved. So we'll have a look on the other side in a minute, just see how we did that. But this boat's a bit oddly shaped. So we put these pieces in here, which land halfway across the engine bearers, if you can tell there. So all we need to do now is line this up, and the one all the way down the other side, up with the 8 before, then it'll give us the rest of the cuts. So what we need to do now is work out the angle, so where this board now meets the hull. So we're going to put like a slight angle on it. So we've got our template upstairs, we're going to just line it up now. So we're doing this upside down. So we mark it from the upside down, and then we're going to be having on here where it meets the hull is going to be an angle. So the angle is going to be, which means the angle is going to be going out, so it's going to get bigger as it goes up. You get the gist, don't you? So now we've marked it out. As we were saying earlier, this template is absolutely useless, because by the time we now cut this out, we'll be now altering the big board then, won't we? Gemma's on her phone. She's like, Joe's on her phone.
I'm not. I'm having a fight with the school.
Fight with school. Yeah.
Oh, poor Mason. I was going to tell you this. Oh, poor Mason got an absolute bollocking yesterday because I had an email from the school basically saying if he doesn't pull his fingers out, he's going to be moved down to a lower tier in his GCSEs for maths, and he's so clever at maths.
I know.
So
we're thinking he's not very good with his hands, so we're thinking this kid's going to be like, he's academically good, isn't he?
So poor Mason got a good telling off by me last night, and then I've just had an email after school saying he's actually the top of his class and he's getting moved up to the highest possible set because he's like so clever. And so I've just said, well, what was that message about yesterday then that he got bollocked about? And apparently it was just a generic message that went out to everyone. So poor kids' mental health, like that's not good.
It's not good.
So I'm having a little fight with the school.
And these kids are the future. We need to look after these. But it's all these ditzy people in it who are in the offices. They're just like, they haven't got a clue. You know what I mean? These people are teaching our kids. So it's a good job we've got one of these to keep them in check. Right, well, Gemma's fine with the school. I'm going to start cutting this out.
Oh, I'm trapped. Hold on. Let me get in this way. Don't fall down the hole.
So let's just adjust out on this side.
Oh, hold on. Okay. Oh, hold on. That's a disaster waiting to happen.
Okay. Steve's again. I'm just trying to shove that one down.
Oh. So, just a little bit of fine fettling to do, and then it'll be perfect.
Oh, I don't know about perfect, but
It'll be...
I'm sort of on the floor.
Actually, we've never stood on this bit of the floor because it's always had benches in and stuff.
Yeah.
Don't jump too high. Bang your head.
Not bang your bum. So I've made a... No, we haven't. We found the original template from the starboard side that we used for down here. So we've now done some alterations. I've now transferred it to a board upstairs. The board is slightly shy in a few places, but I don't think it's going to be a big issue. So we're just going to cut that one now, and then we'll bring it down and give it a test fit. So we've got my marks on it. And Gemma's doing some painting, but she's not going to bore you with that, is she?
No.
She's just painting the other sides.
Yeah. So I'm doing that side, I'm doing that side, on the edges.
Are you running out of space yet? Because I run out of space.
And I don't want to come down here because you're cutting and you're going to create dust, so I'm balancing everything on everything.
And I'll get shouted at, so. Right, let's cut this. Alright, so now we've got the port side ones done. Not quite ready for forward flips yet, but so now we need to cut the centre sections and then put it all down, make sure it all lines up, and then we'll take them all back up again to paint them and epoxy them. Let's check our maths is right on the small one before we commit to the big one. Straight through. You want to go a bit tighter?
No, still got to epoxy all the edges.
Yeah. I mean, this obviously isn't our finished floor. We don't know what's going down there yet, but there'll be something. Carpet, lino, sort of ultra floor maybe.
Well, we can't actually work out the floor. This is like temporary, and this will be temporary for a few years because like we just need something to work on. It won't be like the finish because as well we don't know the layout of the room. So obviously we're putting the floor down now in big pieces, but eventually when all this bow area is like split into rooms and stuff, each room will need like its own access hatch under the floor to check in the bilge area. So yeah. This is temporary, just so we've got something to walk on and not fall down the bilge. So yeah, just we can't work out like cutting hatches and stuff like that until we know what the layout's going to be of the boat, which we still don't know, do we?
It definitely won't be a gym. Or for doing golf, you could do golf in it.
Indoor paintballing.
Indoor paintball. Oh, wouldn't that be cool?
Escape room.
We're going to set the whole boat up as like a indoor paintball, and we can attack the boat. And...
Okay, maybe not. Maybe we just don't know where our bedrooms and toilets are going yet, so we don't know where we need access hatches. But yeah, cool. Right, let's go and cut the other last bit.
To me. Just keep going to the side. Okay, so they're all standing up beautifully now. I'm
excited you'll talk to me.
She's an idiot, isn't she? You'd think like she'd get used to this. Anyway, blah blah. Right, so they're all standing up, ready to be epoxied. The only brush I could find was this one. That's one of Gemma's makeup brushes, done it where she puts a war paint on. But I don't think she'll miss it. Right, so we're going to put some of this around the edges now. So they're all now epoxied. Unfortunately, we've got to wait. A bit patient, mate. We've But we've got to wait now for that to cure, then we can throw some great prime on it. Beautiful day though. The water's now retreating. Got the Jenny running outside. Obviously we haven't had much sun past few months, so. Right, well I've been did all the epoxy and sanding. Gemma's been giving the bilge another coat, so should we see how she's getting on? How are you getting on, Gem?
Nearly there.
You like that, don't you? Hey, that looks pretty good now. Check that out. You're gonna be eating your dinner down there?
Might do. So obviously you can see I haven't done this bit or that bit.
Yeah, first spot the difference on the camera. Maybe the camera picks it up, but doing a good job.
Yeah, but I don't want to stand down there because obviously the paint, so I'm bent over, like. So it's not been the easiest.
Should we bend over again and miss that?
No.
No, I genuinely missed that.
No, don't trust you.
Yeah. Well, after last time when she was bent over all day and cleaned the bilge, she whined, proper whined. About 2 days after.
Don't lie. Don't
She,
say I'm one of them people that just moan and moan because I never ignore them.
well, she didn't really moan too much about that, but she normally moans.
You're cruising, aren't you?
Anyway, I think I'm high off epoxy fumes. Not really. You don't really get any fumes off epoxy. I don't know why people wear masks and stuff like that. Anyway, probably would put that in. Okay, so it's a few days later. All the epoxy has dried on the sole boards. Yeah. So Gemma's now just give them all a nice coat of paint. So we got that one, and that one, and that one. Woo!
I think I was paid for myself.
Oh, don't worry about that. Right. I think eventually Gemma's going to end up being camouflaged with the inside of the boat, isn't she, with all the grey. I don't have
What are you trying to say?
I don't have that problem. Right, okay, so what we need to do now, we need to let this dry. So now we need to throw some nails in now below the waterline. So to do that, idiot here's got to go outside, but it's not raining. We've got no water today, so it's just a bit windy.
Right.
So the big nails, these ones, big 200 millers.
And they're right down in the mud as well, so you might have some digging.
Some digging to do. Right, so yeah, let's go and crack on with these nails, and then we can start putting the shuttering in, then we can throw the ballast in. Yeah.
And the flooring.
And the flooring,
And then we're done.
That's ticked off then. Brilliant, that, isn't it? Yeah.
We will have this done by the end of this video, which is like going to be fab, isn't it?
Yeah,
So let's get to it. So time to get back in the bilge to do the copper nails. But we've got drilling to do and it's all going to get dirty.
Gemma's freaking out because of a fresh, beautiful white paint.
Yeah, I can't get me white paint, so he's going to moan at me, but I'm going to make him put some shoes on if he's standing in my bilge. Shoe overalls. Won't be putting your dirty feet on me white paint. So there's not that many nails to do. We're going to just concentrate on the ones underneath the floor level because it'll be easier to do all the rest of the web frame ones once the floor's in. So it's just, there's 5 or 6, isn't there, underneath?
Yep.
Okay, there you go.
I feel like a wally putting these on. I feel like I'm being like, what's it called, coerced? Is that the right word?
Do not get my bilge dirty.
Being pushed into it.
Yeah.
I'll probably end up doing this, I'll fall over and like banging my head on the line.
Go on, while I've got the camera on you, do it. See, someone's just dropped some dirt in my bilge already.
Okay. I was like, why aren't we on 80,000 subscribers? Because I was kind of hoping it'd be in the winter when we get there. And it'd be all like sloppy mud and stuff like that. And...
Yeah, but in the winter side, it's a bit
But I don't know, it'd be better with...
It's a bit cold, isn't
In the
it?
summer it's just like hard mud. Do you know what I mean? I want to get the full effects.
Yeah. Speaking of that, subscribers, there's been a lot of people who have messaged me who have said they were subscribed, and when they've gone on and checked, YouTube for some reason has unsubscribed them. So if you think you are subscribed, just double check that you are. And yeah, let's get to 80,000 because someone needs to go in the mud.
Yeah.
Okay, tell you what, here's the deal. If we get to 80,000, I'll get my bikini on and get in the mud with you.
Will you?
Yeah.
Even if it's like tomorrow?
Okay, I've said it now, so that means I've got to do it. Yes, okay, I promise, I promise.
Right.
I need to get a new bikini.
You'll need a new one after that.
Yeah.
Alright, let's get drilling. Right, so we've got a marginal problem. So we put these wires through and where the nail's going. There's actually one, you probably won't be able to see it, just down there. So I've got to do some digging. My favourite job. I find digging one of the most sort of hardest things, the most energy, like, so come on. Alright, so we've now revealed it, you can see. So it's going to be a bit awkward I think getting the nail in there, but I think we'll start on the other ones first. It's just bouncing, Jeb. It's just hitting something hard. So we're actually having a bit of a problem in it. Because these new nails are a bit softer than the old ones. So you can imagine you got a big nail like this, you try to knock it in and it hits something. And Gemma's struggling to knock it back out. I just don't know what to do. But we'll... Yeah, good. So I kept bending the nail, so like, obviously if you bend it, there's no point even trying once to get past that. We could have straightened it, but I mean, we can reuse these, we can straighten these and reuse them, but it's just hard work when it's like right down there. Okay. Right, so now Gemma's done a fantastic job of roving the inside. We now need to put our packers in, don't we, Gem? That we've painted. And they're all numbered, and she's got a corresponding little map. I don't know if she needs a map actually.
I don't need a map.
She doesn't need a map anyway. So now we're going to put the shuttering down, which, as you remember, on the starboard side, the shuttering just places in, no fixings or anything like that. Then the ballast goes against it to save the ballast going right against the hull and putting pressure on it, and then it allows drainage then down the back end of it. So, I've never actually seen these in. I think Gemma did quite a good job of measuring these, didn't she? I mean, they're not precise for a reason, but I think they're all like the same amount of out, if that makes sense. So they can move, water can drain off. Cool. Because like the ballast's not going to fall through them gaps, is it?
Right, time to get all that ballast and this ballast.
Oh, and that one behind you as well.
Right, time to get the muscles out.
Yay! Right, so what's heavier?
Computer says no.
What's heavier, Gemma or lead?
Them are all lead. Go on. I'm not giving you the weight away, but I'll tell you. Oh, that block of lead.
65 kilos.
Oh, you shouldn't have said the weight.
Oh.
Because I was going to say that's the same weight as me.
It's a bit obese lead. You wouldn't think that, would you?
So do I feel? Do we feel the same?
What?
Do we feel the same weight?
Yeah. I'll say you're heavier.
I'm exactly the same weight as that block of lead. Shh, don't tell anyone my weight. Does look like someone's been robbing a church roof with these random like rolled up things of lead, doesn't it? I'm going to say about 450 kilograms.
Okay. Quite a lot of money's worth just sat there. What was it? Pound a kilo?
I don't know.
Didn't we have a look?
Thing is, it's like everyone at the beginning said, oh, you should
Weigh
your lead in. But then what would we do for ballast? Because lead is the best form of ballast.
I bet there's over £1,000 worth of ballast in the boat. Of lead.
Tell everyone.
I'm not going to nick it, are they?
Couldn't bleed and lift it off the boat.
Exactly.
But it's the best thing that we can use for the boat, is what we've got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't waste stuff.
Imagine the effort to take all this off the boat, to the car, to the scrap man. And then what would we do? Bring back to put in the bilge? PVC pipe.
PVC pipe.
So just to make our life easier for actually lifting the ballast around, should we stick it in bags?
It's definitely easier in a bag.
Yeah.
But I was a bit tight at first, trying to like not sacrifice bags. You know what I mean?
They are great, them bags
Yeah,
though.
fantastic. And then in the future, when we lift, I think when we first lift, we're going to take all the ballast out, so make our life 1,000 times easier when we can get hold of like, rather than trying to get hold of this when it's like down right in the bilge. But I think somebody bought us these off our Amazon wish list, so thank you very much.
We get asked quite a lot what are the bags that we're using for the ballast, so I'll stick a link to them in the description as well, just so in case you want to need any heavy duty bags.
Or put your own ballast in.
Put your own ballast in. Yeah, they're not really like ballast bags, but that's what we call them.
See, like, some people are probably going, oh my god, what about the balance of the boat, or you didn't quite take that from where you got it out from, or we're actually trying to focus all the lead to get it right down as low as you possibly can in the bilge, because obviously that's where you want the weight. But previously it was all like up the side. I know quite a bit about balance of stuff from motorsport days, but at the moment we just point it in. We know the boat is sitting level. At the moment she's actually listed at 1 degree to starboard, isn't she, when she's floating. So I'm hoping putting all this back in here will actually correct her, so we should be pretty much bang on.
The thing though with everything being in bags, when we do you know, because we float all the time, it's not as if we're a
Got it.
boat on the hard. We can keep
Yeah.
assessing it and go, oh, we're listing a bit that way,
Yeah.
move some ballast over, so that's really good.
Yeah.
You know, imagine doing it on the hard.
Yeah, and then splashing, and then it just goes.
Yeah.
You know, like
You know,
it could happen.
we float a couple of times a week, so we assess this all the time.
Which is actually really good about doing this project where we are, because everything we do gets tested. Tested. So this looks like a pleasure to move. So the keen eyes amongst you will have noticed we haven't put any ballast in this area here, because right below these shuttering planks, I'm going to call them, it was a bit wet still, because obviously it's a wooden boat, you get a bit of water in the bilge, and we're January at the moment. We cannot dry it, so what we don't want to do is paint over any wet wood, so we've actually left it for now, and then hopefully we'll return in the summer maybe. We'll lift this floor, lift them panels, and hopefully it'll be nice and dry then. So
I need a mop or something for the floor.
hi, I'm Simon. Welcome to Ship Happens. You're in a safe place to talk about boats here. Anyway, start again. Right, so
Is this like BA?
BA,
Like AA, but BA?
BA.
AA?
Yeah, what, Boats Anonymous? Yeah. Right. I thought you were about BAs like British Airways.
No.
The exits are here. Maybe we need exit signs. Oh, they're on the way out, them, aren't they? Anyway, what's going on? Right. So just before the floor goes down, so we've got a piece here. Obviously, do you remember our gun supports? The big steel things are here, but we need to repair this at some point. So the keen eyes amongst you will notice that. But we know we need to do that. But when the floor comes up, when we figure out this room, and there's more pressing jobs at the moment, but they will get filled in. We'll let a nice piece in down there. I just want to point that out.
Oh, I'm going to point something out.
Oh God.
I think people seem to have got a little bit mixed up that when we took out their metal supports from down there,
Yeah.
that people thought they were the gun mounts.
Well, they kind of.
But the gun mounts are actually these.
Let me talk about the gun. So the gun used to be right up here on the deck. So it's a 1 ton gun. Had these extra beams in here. So this one, and there's some corresponding ones there which have been cut out. So the gun sat on there. Then it had, I think it was 2 posts which used to go down to the engine bearers. So then we've also got more structure. So then we've got these big chunks of material here, which used to go all the way down to like the engine bearers. And then to stiffen those up, it was basically a big steel plates that we removed, which went across here. So that basically triangulated the area. Because if you imagine the power of the gun and all the recoil, boom, boom, boom. So it basically used to spread the load on the whole hull. But yeah, a lot of people thought it was just that was the gun mount down there.
We sort of call these bits the gun mounts.
It's all the gun mounts, isn't it? Yeah. It's gun support, gun mounts, whatever.
But obviously they need stripping back,
Yes.
back to bare wood. The top of this one does need changing there.
Yeah, a little bit.
But obviously we're going to leave them in for now.
Yeah, for like a historical.
But when it comes to the layout of the inside, if they're in the way, then they may get chopped out.
Yeah. Or if we're going to put another gun on her. You never know how the world's going, do you? You know?
Oh yes. So it looks massive in here.
Yeah, it's huge. Do you reckon we should have brought the cat, shouldn't we?
To measure the room.
To measure the room. I can
Yes,
swing. I can swing here.
Ah!
Ready? Legs up. Headstand.
Headstand. Hold on, I'm too close to that table behind us.
No, you're fine. I'll be the barrier if it all goes wrong. Yes. Well done.
I can touch the ceiling.
Right.
There you go.
Let's have a look at the face.
Big
now.
floor's big enough. to do gymnastics on. Your turn.
I can't do her stuff.
I don't even need my coat on now, I'm roasted.
I'm sorry, but this is pretty cool, isn't it? Look at the size of it. It's like, it's huge.
It's quite an achievement, isn't it, to get to where we are now.
Yeah.
When we first started this room, and obviously the starboard side took us like,
over a year almost.
yeah, over a year, and then
we did do a bit of the port side.
Yeah, but then it's like the only thing we've got to do now is finish the copper nails in the web frames and a couple of stringers, and then it's officially done. But that's it. We've actually achieved a full.
Our foundation now is good, isn't it? So
yeah, we've still got obviously woodwork higher up to do, beam shelf and decks and stuff, which we're hoping that we're going to get the deck on this year.
Yeah, I think we need to.
Yes. But before we can do anything else, we really need to get all the woodwork done in the engine room, because then we can do the whole front deck.
Yes, that'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
So should we go and have a look at the work that we need to do in the engine room?
I like that. Yeah, cool.
Don't want to see it!
Let's end them alone. So the actual engine room, it's probably about the similar sort of conditions as the port side and the bow. There's a few little bits here and there. They're not massive big long bits, but as you can see here, this is a really bad bit. And they've got a couple of like stringer repairs to do and stuff like that. So, and the webs. So it shouldn't take us too long. Should be an interesting job. So the main issue in the engine room is like it's got engines in it and all sorts of junk, you know, but there's all sorts of stuff in our way, so we need to work around some stuff. We're going to be taking out a couple of like the benches and the stuff like that to gain access to the hull. But once that's done, we can start painting the hull and can't we? It's going to look beautiful. But we've also got, this is like the little cabin way between the bow and the engine. We've also got a couple of like frames, so you can see like the frame at the top there, which has been pre-marked. So that's like, there's only one in this area, so...
the web frame.
Oh yes,
that's correct.
So the frame and the web frame, but apart from that, it should be relatively smooth sailing, really. What have thought?
This side's done.
That side needs a web there.
Yes, it needs 2 webs.
Yeah, but I've actually already been digging out under the floor here, so all the ballast has been removed and stuff like that. So,
and that is why we've got buckets and buckets
shots
of that everywhere.
Yeah, it was yeah.
So
yeah, I didn't film any of that because it was just a nightmare.
Do you want to show you all the buckets you got there? Okay, yeah. But all of these are just full. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hang on.
5 buckets. Oh.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay, so we got like 10 buckets out of that little bit of...
Yeah, it was rammed in.
Yeah, it wasn't good, was it? And here's a look into the chain locker at the front that everyone always asks about because we don't really show it. Obviously, it's not an area that we can work in at the moment, and it's something we'd have to look into when we take the deck off. But all of it looks quite okay from just an initial visual assessment. It was quite heavily coated in paint, which I think has been a good protector of all the wood in there. But we need to dive deeper into this tight space to check it out fully. So still loads more work to come in this year, isn't there?
Yeah.
But
fun.
We're going to call it a day for now. We're going to go and dance on our floor.
Yeah.
And we'll leave you to go and watch something crap like Love Island on telly.
Love Island.
See you all next week. Bye.
Roly poly.
Roly poly.
Yeah, go on.
Can I do it on the...
Yeah. Right.
Oh.
Say goodbye, Gemma.
Goodbye, Gemma.
We're doing thumbnails! You probably saw this at the beginning going, oh my god, I want to watch that video. Or you probably thought, what the bloody hell are they doing?
How much can you see? I can't see the camera.
Yeah, it'll be alright now. We'll get it off. Ah, I'm a thumbnail! Thumbnail! Oh my god, the boat is blown up! Oh my god! Sinking! Oh, it does me head in there. I've never actually lay here and just looked at the boat.
It's rotten, isn't it?
No, that's cool. What kind of big colour? All the shapes to it.
It's absolutely rotten.
The deck is, yeah. That bit's not. No.
That's a big hole there.
That's where the chimney used to go through. Right,
30th of January?
30th.
I told you when that was done!
60 kilos.
Shut up, you!
60.
Give a girl a complex. Thank you all so much for watching. Please consider subscribing if you haven't done already, as it really helps the channel out. See you all next week.